Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony. He stuck a feather in his hat and called it, well, you know what he called it. At the start of the American Revolution, the British called the Americans Yankee Doodles. It means Johnny Stinky Cheese, the idiot. Like little kids, they ride on ponies. And they think they're wearing the finest fashions just by sticking a feather in their hat. Well, at the beginning of that fight for American independence, the Americans had no uniforms. Often they would show up without shoes, with maybe a shovel in their hand to defeat the greatest army in the world, the British Redcoats. But at the Battle of Saratoga, upstate New York, in October of 1777, the Americans did the impossible. They defeated a huge British army under the command of Gentleman Johnny Burgoyne. And 'twas said when they surrendered their weapons, the Americans took in the guns and the arms and sang back at the British Yankee Doodle. The French came in, and they helped the Americans get clad in new uniforms, blue coats, and more. And now, my friends, here I am, Jonathan Kruk, your storyteller, standing at French Hill in Crompond, New York, where, in the fall of 1782, there were thousands of French troops here camped to hold the line against the British forces between here and the Hudson River and beyond. Now, just before the French were to march off, their commander, Rochambeau, came to George Washington and said, "Ha, General Washington, why, you have become Prussians." "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, they are the finest, most disciplined, finely uniformed army in all the world. And now you have turned from, well, forgive me, but Yankee Doodles into a fine and admirable fighting force. Look at your uniforms." "Why, I will indeed. Why don't we have an inspection?" And they made 2 long lines of French and American troops, not far from where we stand, just a bit south of Peekskill in Verplank. And when Washington marched by, the men all snapped to and showed off their splendid colors of the various regiments that now were formed together to help form together the new nation. And Rochambeau said, "Ah, impeccable. Why, I was afraid, General Washington, that, why, the way in which all you Americans call for liberty, independence, and equality, that they would not, why, salute to you. But you are a man of fine character, and they all give good cheer and are of good cheer when you pass by. Why? Because they are of good cheer for the liberty and independence that they have wrought." And Washington said, "Your Excellency, I thank you too wholeheartedly, not just on behalf of myself, but the whole new nation of the United States, for the help, the aid, the support, the spirit brought to us by the French." Well, my friends, some of that French spirit showed off here. Why, when the French, in late October of 1782, were ordered to march from here over to Newport, Rhode Island, they packed up their camp. There were many with tears in their eyes as they left this beautiful new country. But before Rochambeau could march away from Crompond, through the ranks there pushed an American who had a scroll of paper in his hand. He walked right up to General Rochambeau, pushing past the various aides who were at first too startled to do anything, and he tapped him on the shoulder. Rochambeau turns round and looked startled, and the American accosted, saying, "In the name of the law, you, sir, are under my arrest." And then he opened up the document, a warrant for the arrest of General Rochambeau. Well, Rochambeau and his young officers took umbrage, and they squeezed round and glared at the fellow. They put their hands on their sword hilts, and one of the younger officers said, "Take him if you can." "No, I will not," was the American's reply. "I have done my duty and served this order of arrest. And now, General, Your Excellency, you may go. You're free to march away and ignore this little call to justice." Well, Rochambeau wondered, what is this about? The American explained, "It seems when your troops camped, defending our new nation, making sure that the British would not come and try to, unravel all we've done. A neighbor from around here said that you used up too much firewood, and you didn't pay for it. And thus, I am getting paid to serve you this warrant of arrest. Forgive me. And now that my duty is done, I just ask that you let me go away unmolested." Well, Rochambeau and his men began to laugh, but Rochambeau took the charge seriously, and he sent one of his men to settle the matter. There was a little bit of a proceeding, a court, if you will, and, the fellow from around here was asking for 15,000 francs to pay for the firewood. Well, Rochambeau offered 2,000, and the court agreed that the cost would be 2,000 francs, but to be paid for not by Rochambeau, but by the farmer to the new United States government. And thus, a bit of justice here at Crompond got served and helped bring about the spirit of liberty, independence, and fairness brought forth by the new nation. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm your storyteller, Jonathan Kruk, here at French Hill in Crompond, New York.
He got him on his meeting clothes upon a strapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there were 1,000,000. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle, dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. So Yankee Doodle came to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle, dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.